We build buildings to build people. You shouldn't build a building to put your name on it. Every building you build should produce people who are leaders. Dr. Morris Cerullo and I spoke privately behind the curtain about 7 years ago when I came to this meeting, and there was a trailer in the back where he was, and I walked in there and he was chatting with me, and I said, "Sir, if you died today, what would happen to all the knowledge you have?" I'll never forget the conversation. He looked at me and his eyes became water over. I said, "Sir, maybe you need to build an institution so you can reproduce people after yourself." And I was so happy the next year that he came back talking about the center in California, building an institute to train people. Because people are more important than buildings. Jesus never left a building in his name. He left people. Write this down. True legacy is in people, not in projects, programs, and buildings. And Jesus knew that. If you study all the great leaders in history, true leaders, they always focused on people. Elijah focused on Elisha, and he gave him his cloak. David focused on Solomon, and he gave him his crown. Jesus focused on Peter, and he gave him the church. I wonder who you are focusing on. This is the spirit of legacy. I want to suggest a couple of things to you. True leaders are the key to a new world. And nothing happens without leadership. Nothing changes without leadership. Nothing improves without leadership. Nothing succeeds without leadership. Nothing progresses unless someone takes leadership. Leadership is the key to transforming the world. So if we're going to be successful, we need true leaders. True leaders do not focus on themselves. They focus on other people. And this is why we need to remember this principle. Here it is. Good leaders employ others, but great leaders deploy others. Good leaders employ other people, but great leaders deploy. You know, Jesus, when he was about to leave the earth, he made a statement. It was a legacy statement. He said, "All authority is given unto me in heaven and in earth and under the earth. I have all the authority." And then he says, "Therefore you go." He transferred it to them. Authority and power is for distribution. He knew that if he did not distribute the authority, everything would die with him. So life is about distribution. Here's another principle to remember. Leadership is not measured by how many people serve you. It's measured by how many people you serve. You know, I've watched people in the ministry walk around the world, and they got these large entourages, and people shining their shoe for them, and carrying their Bibles. And somehow there seems to be a spirit which says, the more people that serve me measure how important I am. But the Bible is opposite to that. The greatest among you shall be who? The servant of everyone, not them serving you. That's why my only entourage is my wife, and she's my bodyguard. That's all I need. Because your wife is your most precious jewel. So the goal of leadership is to serve people. True leaders also learn from others, but they never become them. It's important for you to be a student and learn from other people. True leaders are never graduated from the school of life. They are constantly learning. True leaders are also those who lead others to leadership. And that's what legacy is about. It's about producing leaders, not maintaining followers. In other words, managers think of the next position, but leaders think of the next generation. I wonder if you would, in the next partners meeting, bring your son and daughter. Maybe you should expose them to this atmosphere. Where's your son? My son is out there at the table. We took them with us around the world, exposed them to what we were doing, and now they want to do it themselves. No pressure. When you mentor people, you transfer the anointing to them by association. Who are you mentoring? Who are you training? Matter of fact, the greatest act of leadership is mentoring. Write that down. The greatest act of leadership is what? Mentoring. Here's why. If what you learn, achieve, accumulate, or accomplish dies with you, then you are a failure. All this great work that you've accomplished, all the knowledge that you have accumulated, all of the great projects you have achieved, if it all dies when you die, you failed. And that's why the passion of this ministry is training. It's about transfer. It's about building people. Mentoring, therefore, is the manifestation of the highest level of maturity in leadership. Only mature people want others to be greater than they are. A person who is insecure and don't know who they really are will never train people. They will oppress people. I love the words of Jesus, the greatest leader of all times. Let me quote what he said. He said, "It is better for you that I go away." Some folks never want to leave. This is my position. I am the pastor. I am the prophet. I am the apostle. I am the evangelist. Oh, shut up. You're going to die. So train somebody now. Clap. Mature people create people greater than themselves. Words of Jesus. If I do not go away, you will not do greater works than I have done. But if I go away, he says, you will do greater works. He wanted his disciples to be greater because he was secure in himself. To leave a legacy, you must be mature. Because true leaders do not focus on self-preservation or self-protection. You know, there are people in the world, and I'm talking to some of you in the back as well, who protects their position from everybody else. You know, we get this idea that God has blessed me with this place and this is my spot. Every spot is temporary. Tell your neighbor, you will die one day. So train your replacement now. Clap. Legacy is about preserving your future, not protecting your past. So what kind of leaders do we need? First of all, we need leaders who are not preoccupied with protecting themselves, but who are more concerned about producing their legacy. We need leaders who think more of the next generation than about the next position in the organization. We need leaders who feel they owe a debt to the future. I have to produce people to preserve this organization. The name of Oral Roberts is still around. We got students here. I see some of them in this building. I'm one of them. He's gone, but we still live on. And we still call his name because he didn't just produce buildings. He produced people. I think the greatest gift you can give the world is your mentee. We need leaders who are more dedicated to history than they are to money. What do I mean by that? You are more concerned about producing people who will preserve the organization than you are about becoming rich. I think this is why Jesus Christ is still the most successful leader in history. He's been gone for 2,000 years and his company is still moving on. Give God a hand for a great leader.